check. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, check, check. All missing, check. Yell at Clark. Arr. Look, Clark, if he wants to send me a message and spam my videos with forget about watching SpongeBob and cleaning the toilet or barbecuing some rodents in the fog, the time to watch that video is now. See, that video you're talking about is those trucks rocking that I never ever want to see again. Ever. That has been re-uploaded something like 600 million times. The only video on the internet. And it's daylight. That's a mountain in the background. And if you look to the left and the right when he pans the cameras, you'll see it's daylight. It's not 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not daylight 2 o'clock in the morning in Japan, okay? And then you spam me all day with that stuff. Moonbase 205 today, and I go watch that video. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, take care. Yell at Clark. I'm tired of you yelling at me. I told people don't send me that video no more. I'm tired of it. Trucks rocking in daylight. That's supposed to be 2 o'clock in the morning in Japan? Please. And it's just not, right? You don't have to be very smart to work that one out. Oh, hi, Miss Milky the Clown. Better give me glasses. I don't know what the hell is going on with Yell at Clark. It's like lost their minds. Why not send me a message? Why spam all my videos, right? Yeah, hi Albert. Let me catch up and say hi to everybody. Marcus also, Yell at Clark also got banned at Jasmine. I wonder why. Let me see. Janet, hi. Nancy Red Star, hi. Stephen, hi. Okay, there we go. We got everybody. And John Katz. All right, looks good. Moonbase to Dana. I like that one. But telling me to stop watching SpongeBob. I'm not sure how to take that one. Does somebody really think someone my age is watching SpongeBob? I don't know. Most likely. Hang on a second. Here comes the big slurp. Oh, that was so good. Now, folks, let me bring this over here. Let me try to explain a couple of simple things to people. It's going to make my life more difficult because I put the microphone between my lap. That don't leave me any room for a laptop. Kind of backwards. Hi, hippie. I had bad. Had I bad, she. What do you. No harm meant, but, do you really expect anybody to pronounce that? Had I bad a she, as he, hi? It's a nice tongue twister, though. I could actually spend a lot of time trying to figure out people's names, not just your name. Hi, Tracy. You got any questions? Pile them in there now. It takes about 20 seconds or 30 seconds before I see them after you post comments. And if you just join in the video, and the comments are to the left here, alongside of the video, that means, hi Benny, that means, if the comments are to the left, that means we're live streaming at that time. See, I got it right tonight. And ENE News, I just want to touch on that for people for a second. I'm going to come back over to their stories after. Hi Jack, 61. Miss Milky. I love to pick your mind someday, you know that? You're ever going to do an interview, make sure you pick me. Because I can pick your mind, I bet you I could. I'd say it'd take me about 8 hours to even... But I say like your mind is ready to fire at this stage. You got so much knowledge in you. Wish I had that. I'm getting there. So, let me go back to ENE News. Like if there was a free and open internet, ENE News, which is dedicated to Fukushima, would be posting 3 links from somewhere else, right? They'd be going all over Japan and posting non-stop, right? You know it. These people are working tirelessly. Same as Miss Milky. If there was a free and open internet, do you think her site would be full of news from outside? Excuse me. And that, you know, those trucks that are rocking in that video, that's daylight, see? But I mean, it's you know, I think that one was probably from the original Beak earthquake, way back to 9.0. Because if you look at those vehicles rocking, that don't look like a 7.2 to me. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that it's certainly not 2 o'clock in the morning in that video. And then spamming all my videos, calling me, telling me not to go watching SpongeBob and Moonbase to Dana, as if, you know, if you, and he claimed that he listened to my videos. If you listen to my videos, you would know these things. And, you know, we're talking about a free and open internet where there's tens of thousands of YouTube videos missing every day, and there's millions and millions of Facebooks and Twitters missing every single day from 200 million people that are under martial law in Japan. And Japan is actually getting under my skin at this stage. I want to touch on another story where turtles have washed up, and that came out a few days back. There was like 150 of them seen in the ocean, some of them swimming in circles. Most of them were, or 98% of them or rather, were dead. A couple of them were alive. The rescue two brought them in. One died, one made it, and they were going to release it back into the ocean. And these are rare turtles. And so it's pretty easy to extrapolate that that was because they were swimming in an ocean that was radioactive. And carcasses like that, right? Because they have lungs. Like most fish have an air bladder, for instance. And so when they die, that decays and they float. And, you know, they might sink later, but they originally float, see? Because that air bladder will expand when the fish die. And same thing with the turtles, where they got the lungs and everything, and they die, they decompose, and then they got that shell, and so their carcass floats readily. So there's a lot, right? Anything with an air, the only thing that hasn't got an air bladder is sharks. I don't like sharks. I'll tell you a story where I jumped off the boat one day, because the seagulls, I used to always, we'd be driving along in the boats on the oceans, and when you see seagulls or birds or egg downs or whatever feeding, I would suit up and jump down and watch it. See what was driving them up and watching all the birds coming down and diving on them. And so this one day, I only dove about 5 hours. It was on the east coast of Canada at that time. It was winter time, mostly diving under the ice. I really didn't like it. It was very spooky, a lot of noise. Ice is always moving, but I'm digressing. Okay, finish the story was that I don't remember, because I'm thinking of the SpongeBob's got underneath me. Oh well. We were diving. Let me finish it off. I'm sure I'll get it in a second. Oh yeah. So I jumps over the side of the boat because I seen all these fish breaching, and all the birds were snatching at them. And I figured there was something big down there driving them up. And so when I jumped down, it was just hundreds of millions of squid. And I was in the Atlantic Ocean, which is a big groundswell, so I had a lot of weight on. So I usually sink down 20 feet or something before I even start to slow down. And I have no problem equalizing, because I've done that all my life, right? But it was like like a snowstorm of squid coming past you. And at the same time, all these sharks would fly, just foom, foom, foom. And these weren't big sharks. But and I don't know why I had that kind of fear, but I had so much fear I had to come back, and it was like I was still falling, and I was blowing air into my suit trying to get at there's a button right on my valves. I don't wear the big vest because the dry suits, it's just too cumbersome when you're working 6 hours a day on the ocean floor. And I used to drag around the umbilical cord so I wouldn't have to come up a lot of times. But that time I was on double tanks, and I had a lot of weight on. So anyway, I'm piling all this air into my suit, and these sharks, I mean, it was just, there had to be about 1,000 past me in that. It seemed like forever, but it was probably no more than 3 minutes from the time I started to come back up, from the time when I went down. And the squid were latching onto me and then letting go of me, and it was just like, it was total panic for me. And in my mind, it couldn't deal with it. And we were laughing about it that night, that afraid of a little tiny squid. That's what they used to keep blaming on, but nobody bothered. It was, the joke was on me. Hi, BC Liberal. Sea lions eat salmon, yeah. Well, sea lions will actually take like sharks, the small sharks, and they'll smack them on the surface. And what they're trying to do is because all sharks have pups, right? And that's like eating popcorn, I guess, for the sea lions. And that's how they would knock the pups out of the sharks, the little sharks. And it used to drive me insane trying to sleep at night. And they'd be doing it all night, say up Cape St. James and the Queen Charlotte Islands. And then we'd come up and beg at your boat all night long. Ooh, 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 all night long, which totally... Hi, Dudley. I'm digressed. Let me get back. I don't know how I ended up going that line. Oh, that was about the turtles. That was about the turtles. And the dogs that were eating the turtles died instantly. Now, we don't know if it's from the stuff they ate or was it that the turtles were so radiated. But then you'll hear that they're taking samples from the turtles. So if the turtles were so radiated that the dogs walked up and they died because of that, then the people that walked up should have also died, I would think. But the turtles were, the dogs eating it, I don't know what's going on there. Like, I think it was probably Fukushima's death plumes, and the Plume Gate we see for the title today is about 977 days of these death plumes going into the ocean all day, every day. And anybody that's not familiar, I'm just going to run through the basics for you, and then I'll come back down to the comments. Is that 977 days ago, there was 3 reactors, 1, 2, and 3, detonated through hydrogen explosions. And we think number 4, because of the isotopes it released, was the confirmation apparently, was that was a nuclear detonation. And these were about 2 miles up, and they would blow, on the top of these buildings were all rods. So the rods went all over the site. Now the site, when they engineered that site, they put in about 100 feet of topsoil. And that was one of the ideas. They've never had one of these explosions before, but it's into their plan. So if it goes out, it goes down and lands in all that topsoil, then they keep pouring water on it. Otherwise, it becomes... And we have that out in the ocean off Japan, allegedly, well documented by a number of people that we don't hear about very much, where there's, in the ocean, fission going on. And so a lot of these rods landed on the debris from the tsunami and got carried back out into the ocean. It hadn't all receded at this stage when the first couple of explosions that went off. In fact, I think all 4 of them stood that possibility. That site was overran by water too, folks. And it can happen again. See? And all those tanks are, to me, they're the show and tell. But also, you got to think about, the bottom of them tanks, all these heavy metals, these plutonium, strontium, and cesium, and the 1300 weaponized particles in there, like the MOX fuel and everything else. Stuff that's going in the tank will settle to the bottom of the tank. And if they drain those tanks, each one of those tanks can become their own little nuclear... because you don't need to have a whole bunch to create this fission, see? And so, we can be in a lot of trouble. And because of a 7.2 earthquake on October the 25th, 2013, 18 days ago, hence is when we started doing this particular type of video, because Japan has been gone into a lockdown for information. We never had anything come out, but 10 days before that, there was a 7.2 earthquake in Boho, which is not very far away, same kind of terrain, everything else. And it was just massive destruction. Highways picked up and tore apart. And the death plumes can come across the ocean in 3 days. And the picture you're looking at is from 1940. It's a story on Wikipedia about fire balloons from 1944. And Japan was sending these bombs over. And they landed all over America, Canada, and Mexico, folks. So that means the cesium, the strontium, the plutonium, the death plumes that are airborne, that are aerosoled in those 9,000 degree Fahrenheit, 3 melted cores, pits of hell. Because when there's an earthquake, or, a lot of these rods are sitting on the edge. And if you have a piece of that rod in your room, you won't get to hear me finish this sentence. And so all the water they're running on the site, because all the rods are all over the site and they're in that topsoil that was put there before they put the site there, that water runs down and runs out underneath it on the riverbed, which is about 100 feet down, which is where we believe the cores are gone. and we can't. Nobody knows. Nobody can get close enough. But we do see them TIPCO coming out with pictures of just ridiculous stuff where people are stood up alongside of it, which is impossible. All the experts, you know. So these are doctored photos, most likely, or those people died where they were stood, and that picture was never taken. You know, I can't even see that because there's so much toxin there. That is literally coming up to the ground like the Clampets, you know that song at the beginning of the Clampets. I don't know if anybody remembers that old movie. This is the story of a man named Jed, I think it is. But anyway, the bubbling crew coming up, that's going on all over Fukushima's site, the prefecture, because the whole prefecture has become liquefaction, I think they call it. They had poured so much water on it now for 977 days that the site is unstable. And so buildings are tilting and listing, and it's causing them to break. They don't have a nice foundation, and so they're getting cracks in all these foundations. And the plan was that if any of these cores melted, the ocean would come in, or a river, a natural river that's built into the plan of these things to come in, and they need a few million gallons at that stage. But some people have, and it's true that in certain scenarios, if you add water, you could cause a serious detonation, a buildup of gases and everything else. We don't see that. We don't know because there's an internet blackout. We really don't know what happened there. But the plan was that water comes in and stays on top of these things, and they don't get out of control. But you have to abandon the site, so if you can't get that happening. So that's why they had that in their plan, that the ocean will come in and it will whisk all that temperature away, and it will whisk out into the ocean all those radioisotopes, the iodine, the beta, the gamma, the nuclides. Trying to remember the names. There's so many names, I have tried a number of times to sit there and recite it all just to try to get it into my mind. It's hard enough to learn, let alone try to remember to keep all these in context. I think that would do nothing but just confuse people, ultimately, unless you're specifically being asked a question like that. Gold, black gold. There you go, Miss Milky. Beverly Hillbillies. IT Min Zane. Blah. Never mind, you're answering it now. Blast a Hippie, just to let you know, I will be moving offline from Friday, moving house. Oh, well, no, I know, I see what you're doing, Hippie, and other people, of course, are picking up now. And like you say, Miss Milky's site, she has a lot of people over there grabbing her videos, but we still need more people doing that for her site. Everything on both of her sites, Miss Milky the Clown and Miss Milky the Clown 1, has to be backed up on other sites. So you do need people out there to volunteer to set up sites and just remix it and re-download and re-upload all that stuff, just so we can keep hold of it in the future in case something happens. I think that's really important too, because she's got all the stuff for way back, just incredible amount, just an unbelievably cool amount of stuff to say. So let me come down and make sure I catch up on anybody's questions. That's important, We don't want to lose that information. That's an incredible amount of work, let alone everything else. Yeah, no, Hippie, you're going to be moving. Good stuff. You got your bunker all dug out, bud? Yeah? All stuffed with dandelion. That's pretty cool. I'm just joking, of course. Okay, I got everybody. Okay, the question then. Info power. Dana, could the radiation from Fukushima be the final ingredients in the chemtrail mixture they need to kill off billions of us to reach their 500 million mark? No, the problem really truly is, in my opinion on that one, is that they're doing the chemtrails because they're going to kill us off too quick, and we'll panic and we'll tear them apart. See? They can't have people dying all over the place. They just can't, and they've overdone it. That's overload, what's coming out of there now. And all the experts agree the ocean is history in about 2 years at best. It can't produce oxygen no more. It won't have any of the plankton necessary to produce the oxygen, and also necessary to feed the beginning of the food chain. So once you take that out of the equation, it's game over. You can't turn back that clock. And it's spilling over in the other oceans, getting picked up by thousands of miles of clouds every day and lugged all over the place a lot quicker. Hi, Crush Boss. MS Tree. Hey, Dana, it's good to hear from you again. Good. Tree Service, I'm going to call you because I can never pronounce your first part of your name. Miss Milky, yes, please remix any or all of her videos. No credit needed. No, that's right too, you know. Like, try to extrapolate something from the title and change the title slightly, but still encompass what the video means, and disguise it that way, but be accurate about the dates that it was uploaded and stuff like that. That's really important, so people have context when they come to that video. They understand that that's actually an old video. If you go out now to Fukushima, you got all these... like the people, there's a number of sites out there that are taking advantage of the Fukushima to make money. And they're uploading all of these videos. They're not conversing with anybody, and they're putting advertisement on everything on purpose. But you'll go to their site and you got all kinds of other videos where they're doing the same thing. Now, the people that are dedicated to it, it's irrelevant that. But I'm just saying there are people out there that are doing this, and they're re-uploading these same videos over and over and over. And then they take all those videos, open up another account, and re-upload those videos over and over with that same technique. And that's damaging because they fabricate and lie about the videos, like that truck, those trucks shaking. Look how many times that's been uploaded. I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody who's been out there searching right now don't want to see that video no more, okay? That video is just a nightmare that we can't even get something out of it. Chris Boss, we say hi to the world. And BC Liberals with the chemtrail theories is that they were spraying way before the Fukushima blew. Well, no, that's not a problem at all. They got 2 billion gallons that are leaching out of the Columbia River now from Hanford into the ocean, right? They got all these reactors that are on the ocean, got pipes going out into the ocean. They have been dropping 45-gallon drums in the ocean for decades of nuclear waste. They got Russia. They got off San Francisco, 45,000. Didn't we got all the bomb explosions over the years, etc., right? They've been chemtrailing for a long time in order to keep the radiation down because it interferes with everything else that they're planning. I mean, that's my opinion only, but that's what they do. If you go look up what's the contingency plan for most countries if they have a radioactive fallout in their country, is to go out and spray from a plane particulates that are meant to, because the gamma and the beta are producing electrical charges, so they want them to aggregate each other and then weigh them down. That's actually right. Otherwise, it goes up into the troposphere, the atmosphere, and everything else, and then they're in a whole lot of trouble. Right? Remember, they're trying to save the planet for themselves. That's the way I see it. But now they're going to screw the planet. So, like I was saying last night in my video, you know, it's not hard to accept, in any way for me, as just a theory that killing off 95% of us, the 5% left over because of the radiation, would be acclimated to the radiation and would be the perfect specimens to send out into space to other planets, right? Because otherwise, you got about 2 years in space and you're going to fill up with tumors. The people that are calling for to go to Mars, their life expectancy is only a couple of years. They might live a bit longer because they'll give them technology to reduce those tumors, because they understand that much better than we do. But I'm just saying, like, if I went out into space, I'd be finished. That's the problem. That's why we can't travel in space. Not only that, but the males will actually go blind. So it's only females can space travel, which is probably a good thing, because the last thing we need is the military-industrial machine heading off into space, looking for, you know, more people to bludgeon and victimize. I don't think we should ever go to space. Anyway, we weren't meant to, and they're trying to terraform us to go there, basically. That would make sense. They're taking advantage of it. That would definitely make sense. And Trillium, yeah, there was another name I was trying to come up with there earlier. I forgot for some reason. Is not just Fukushima problem, but would. So, like, the point is, hi, Benny. Who do we know if the DLR is not contaminated? I got to come down a little bit lower, I guess. Yeah, we left off at BC Liberals talking about chemtrails. Yeah, because like they have to mitigate this since the 50s, 60s, 70s, but we only really seen it since 96, the heavy chemtrails. That doesn't mean they haven't been at it. And when you see a chemtrail in the sky, that's not a passenger airplane, by the way. That's a military plane. You can go to the local airports and watch all the planes coming out. Now, don't forget, there's 50,000 horsepower engine. They're going to leave a bit of a trail. That's known as a contrail. The chemtrail goes from horizon to horizon, and you won't see that on a passenger plane. Hi, Miss Milky. Yeah, they're determined to go to Mars. I agree with you, Miss Milky. You agree with me, whatever. That makes sense, see? If you want to go into space, and we know there's a billion planets out there, the only way we're ever going to get out there is generations of mutations from radiation that are acclimated and able to travel that distance in that environment, right? We are only used to 3 indigenous isotopes on the planet Earth, and they don't matter in space, see? We don't have no tolerance whatsoever. No, I mean, a lot of people can't consider that, you know, who runs this planet. A lot of people just can't wrap their minds around it. So Fukushima is no problem at all? How do you extrapolate that one? Mashiro? What do you think I'm doing this video every night for? Huh? Fukushima is hell on earth, right? That's hell on earth. But I'm just bringing everything in together. Hi, Benny. Okay, I'm losing track now of who's saying what and how, and I'm, as usual, I'm probably going to insult somebody, and not on purpose. Let me come back up. See if I can catch up. John Beasley. See, I didn't see that one there. Do you know anyone in Japan that you could call? We tried, actually. We got a teacher here in town, and we contacted them, and they apparently made a call, but I don't know. They got back to us and said everything seems fine. That doesn't, you know, it's just one person, right? But that was a good try. So, Steve, how can it be so much blackout, Dana? Business people travel to other countries, etc. I mean, yeah, you know. How are they doing it? I don't know. But, I mean, they are obviously doing it. And Miss Milky the Clown has said she also recently started adding text to the NHK vids to prove the data. That's really cool. That's another big, huge bonus. And Albert says, you're right, I found the video was fake. I'm coming up to you, Selkin, in a minute here. My friend thought they would never, blah, blah, blah. That was Steven. Sorry, we already answered that one. So Fukushima is no problem. See, I don't know where you're coming from with that one. Trillium is not just Fukushima's problem with the world. And then your next comment is, so Fukushima is no problem at all? I got no idea why you would say that. Anyway, so if you guys have power plant that country, what do you, like, Masahiro Selkin, are you using an English translator or something? Because I can't pick any sense out of you. First you come out with one, then you come out with another, so Fukushima is no problem at all. There's 3 melted reactors. That's 3 times Chernobyl. One of them is Max fuel. It's 1,000,000 times more deadly than everything else put together on the planet. Period. It's 300 tons a day emitted coming out of there only recently. That means 977 days times 300 tons a day. There's 1,000,000 gallons running over each of those cores that are melted down. That's 3 million gallons a minute. There's 1,440 minutes in a day. That's 900 times 977 days. That's 4.3 billion gallons a day. Times 977, not 300 tons a day. Forget about that number, throw it away. It means nothing. The stuff that's running over those cores, you wouldn't want to drink a glass of it, okay? You'd be like one of those dogs that was eating a turtle. I'm not yelling at you, I'm yelling at you. Fukushima is a catastrophic event, period. It's going to kill the ocean. This ocean, real quick here. The models that we're using are only on 2 weeks. 2 weeks worth of releases that they didn't even know about the 300 tons a day. Imagine if you put that into them models, the entire Pacific Ocean was radiated in 6 years. And so when we include the equation of 4.3 billion gallons a day, it's a frightening thought. And it's not an illusion. We got so much facts out there. Multiple assemblies deformed. And Unit 4 now, the story came out today, and there's not many. There's only 3 or 4 stories slipping out a day, and that's usually from some other country, obviously, because nothing comes out of Japan. Japan is locked down. It's blackout. It's martial law. It's no freedom. It's not a democratic country. It's not a democracy in any shape, form at all. You can't do commerce with it now, unless you're doing it with the big globalist investment firms. But I can't go look at Japan as an open society and try to find something to invest in because there's nothing out there. I don't get that, right? And nobody says nothing. Tracy, 300 tons equals 72,115 gallons. Yeah, I made a mistake there on videos back, but I fixed up the next day. Miss Milky Clown, keep ranting. Rawr, I will, so you make no mistake. It's just, we talk about tritium. We talk about all the strontium. Tritium disappears quite quickly, but the strontium, the cesium, plutonium, the 1300 weaponized isotopes, the MOX fuel, a million times worse than every other, you know. Think about these isotopes. They're supposed to be locked up in sarcophaguses for millions of years. That we can't even do that. We're putting that for the other generations to work out anyway. We always have. We have 440 nuclear plants on this planet, and none of them are as yet decommissioned. It takes 40 to 100 years to decommission this a single plant, and all of them only got about a 40-year lifespan, which they're all basically running at it now. So they're all getting, you know, oh, you can run for another 20 years, right? To keep you reliant up on that, so they can create all these isotopes for all their weapons and all their technologies that they hide from everybody, like the lasers that took down Building 6 on September 11, 2001. Burned the hole right down Building 6. The basement's intact. The walls are intact. The interior is missing. It's missing. You don't even want to get me started on that. But that wasn't nanothermite or something like that. That was the technology they were testing it with, like they done in Vietnam or Iraq and Afghanistan, where they melted people into metal with this technology. And that technology is about them going into space and having their weapons and their toys and dominating countries. They need, in order for them to go to space, they have to eat all the resources on this planet anyway. So they have to break that bond you have with Earth. They have to break that bond that you care about Earth. Because most people, when they find out about Fukushima, they don't care about Earth anymore. Because what's the sense, right? They just want to stay alive for a little bit longer. That's the way they see things. Because they don't know any better. They don't get the narratives that we get here. And right, and so they bring a lot of hopelessness to people by doing what they're doing too, and that's on purpose too, right? Which brings in, you know, gets rid of society's checks and balances once you start going down that road. That's a very slippery, dangerous road. Hi, Riam. Hi, Janet. Do you think dandelion root supplement is effective? 100%. It's got every mineral and every nutrient your body ever needed. Period. So how can that not be effective? See? Is it more effective to go out and buy genetically modified pills and get the nutrients, or is it better to go get it in Mother Nature, right? That's the only question you really ask yourself. And all pharmaceuticals and all supplements now are basically GMO, so it don't even have any nutrients in it. It has some kind of genetically modified with all kinds of toxins and dioxins and formaldehydes and glyphosates, right? And so going out and getting something natural is better than everything you got in your fridge, period, put together. It's got more nutrients than everything in your fridge put together. It's got every mineral and every nutrient your body needs, period. And it's indigenous to this planet. It's the most prolific thing on the planet. It's something you'll see on all the Roundup pest control for your gardens is a picture of a dandelion as if it's something bad, right? And it's not. It's one of the most wonderful things you can imagine. It's something that I grew up on, and we loved dandelion. Absolutely loved it. And when you eat dandelion, you feel that energy. You feel that difference. You know that difference. Your body recognizes that. And you can't oversaturate your body with the dandelion on top of that. It's the most incredible thing you can imagine. It seems inconceivable that someone can go out and grab a dandelion, clean it up, cut it up, drop it in a big pot of water, and let it steep for about 40 minutes. And that's just dip your cup in and you got a cup of tea. You don't need sugar. You don't need milk. You don't need anything else. See, because everybody's so used to caffeine. They don't drink coffee because they like coffee. They drink coffee because they're addicted to caffeine. But dandelion tea, I mean, you can take that water that you're not going to drink for tea and then boil your vegetables in it, or boil your noodles in it, or boil your baby food, or so many things. Take a bath in it if you had enough of it. And I recommend that. Every nutrient your body needs. There's nothing else out there like it, see? I mean, there is, but not quite like that. That's incredible. And it's well known, it's proven. And it's a gift to us, see? 100%. Everybody can afford the nutrients. Even though all the food at the supermarket is GMO, you can just go take that and you're good to go. Hi, Chris Bosch. I think you should get out Mashiro. Yeah, I never... And I'll catch up on what he's saying. Silkins. Mashiro. Deep fried dandelion. There you go, Miss Milky. Sweet. Hi, Tyson. Greetings, everyone. Just wanted to give thanks to all. Like, yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many great people out there. Kevin Blanche. There's Thomas Ackerman. There's Susan up on Before Snooze. Wake Up America. She has lots of stuff on her site about Fukushima and everything else. So, on top of it all the time. And Miss Milky the Clown, of course, got that entire archive. Just incredible, unbelievable amount that we need to re-upload on the other sites just in case something happens. We don't want to lose all that work. That's an amazing dedication, see? Hi, Crush Boss. This man is being attacked for posting these videos. Yes, Steve. So, yeah, you can use a tea bag. That's right. Pre-make it, sell it, probably. There's no patent on it. Yeah, we keep doing tree service, and yet all we keep doing is killing them off. Yeah, well, that's because we're indoctrinated that way to think that that's bad in your garden when it's actually just wonderful. Has a dandelion ever hurt anybody, you know? You ever get stung from a dandelion? You ever get rashes from a dandelion? You ever get... Right, it really not, see? It's something magical that our planet... This little plant that grows at the surface. And dandelion, you can plant it anywhere. It's a weed, literally. And that, it's just like marijuana is a weed. Look how many benefits is in marijuana. Holy cow. Or anything that petroleum can do, hemp can do better. Anything you can make out of petroleum, hemp can do better. See? And there's no residual side effects. There's no residual carcinogens. There's no, right? So, hi, Bob. I just wanted to come down. I'm just going to have to go. Well, Mashimo, Selkina. I don't think anybody knows a bloody thing you're saying, okay? And so I'm not going to sit here and put up with it. And I don't think anybody else should have to put up with it. If you want to come and have a debate, that's what we're here for. If you want to come in and just put these bizarre stuff in there with no context and conjectures, and, you know, that's, you're obviously not here to have a discussion. You're here for some other reason. And whatever that reason is, it don't matter anymore. It really don't. Remember the old days when you just scream at somebody to get rid of them? Let me talk about hang on a second. I don't know. I'll come back over after. I can't access anything in here. Rabbits like dandelion. Oh yeah, Miss Milky. Mom used to pay them 5 cents a milk carton to pick dandelion. Yeah, it's really good stuff. You can't beat it, folks. This is your salvation in the future, okay? You're not an expert eater, Machio. You're an idiot, actually. We're more expert than you. We've been at this longer than you. You haven't made 1 cent since you got on this site. I just want to block you right now and get rid of you. You're being a dick anyway. Now, what's your problem anyway? You two playing these games. It's getting on my nerve now. I'll come back over to the comment section. I'll figure it out in a second. So where did we lie? Where did we make a mistake there, Mashiro? Come on, let's hear it. Let's have a debate. Where are we making the mistakes? Let's hear it. Are we making a mistake by saying TEPCO lied for 977 days about what's going on there? Are we making a mistake by saying that you're bringing in the most impoverished people possible to work on a job that even the experts are terrorized of and terrified of, and that you block the internet and you won't let anything out, you don't have an open society, that you're victimizing people, you're stealing their money, making them do the most dangerous jobs on the planet. I don't care what you heard about. You came here and you've got nothing but nonsense since you got here. You haven't come up with one fact, you haven't tried to debunk one thing we said. You're here with a whole bunch of conjectures, just being an idiot. That's what you're doing. You guys are not experts. Look at your site. Look at your fake site you got there. Look how fake that is. How come you can't blog like me? Huh? How come you can't come out and make videos like me? Call me out like you're doing right now in a ghost account. Right? That's a coward, what you're doing. Make a video and call me out and tell me all the lies I told. Let's hear it. Anytime you want. It's because you can't. All you gotta do is come and call people's names. That's the whole point, right? We get cowards like you on our feed, and you try to excite people, and you try to make shit up. In fact, what you're trying to do is trying to murder people. That's all you're interested in doing. You're not interested in anybody knowing the truth. You're interested in deceiving people so they die. And you go home, you like that, right? You probably go home and write it all down in your diary. I think I killed another couple of 100,000 a night because I went out and I stopped people from listening to somebody who was telling the truth and explaining things. Because your family can't stand you. Your boss is off banging your wife like your buddies do all the time while you're in a little tiny cubicle spamming my video. Hi, Benny. Hi, Jose. I have to go back and watch one of my other videos. Beginning of this one, Jose. I can't go through it over and over in the video when the streams are already running. I start off the video, usually I break down what happened. There's 3 melted cores in Japan. If you don't know that, you shouldn't be on this video. No offense. If you are what you eat, the Dana is a dandelion. I am so. I love dandelion. I eat it raw. I'm out there on my scooter, and I'll just stop, dig up a dandelion, scratch it, and I'll start chewing on it. There's no way I'm going to go in the shop and buy a chocolate bar. That's stupid. I want something to eat. I look for dandelion, pull over, dig it up, scratch it, and start chewing on it. And it's a habit that's hard to break now, and I don't know why I would want to anyway. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Miss Milky, go, Dana, go. Yeah, there you go, thank you. It doesn't take much to get me going. You're not even human. They're Sulkin, Mosquito, you're a murderer. You're out there trying to fool people and trick people, manipulate people. You're a creature. You're like a little monster. You're a little monster. Got to hide away because you're a coward. Working for a PR firm out here, trying to murder people, trying to keep people from knowing what's going on down there. I think people like you, it's a good thing you hide away, because I ever spots you, right? You have to hide away because you're a coward. You don't offer nothing to society. You don't come and debate me. You don't come and try to say, oh, I made a mistake here or made a mistake there. What you do is you come in and try to muddle the conversation, try to bring discredit someone that you can't, because you can't come out and objectively tear apart anything I'm saying. You can't do that. You can't even make a video like I'm doing because you're hiding in a little cubicle while your boss is off banging your old lady. That's the fact. And I'm not going to waste another minute on you. But I'm not even going to block you. I'm just going to let you keep spamming, just so people can see what kind of idiot you actually are. Hi, John. I love it. He's providing comic relief. He is. Yeah, I'm not going to get rid of him because I got a tricycle, Albert. It's a little 500-watt motor. I got 8 batteries packed into it. We're here to talk about Fukushima, but it's a fun little bike. It's a fun little bike. Cost me about 25 cents for about 50 or 60 kilometers. I got it souped up. So it's totally rebuilt now. I got it new, but it's rebuilt. Yeah. Hey, Benny, Mashiro's not a she, right? That's a he. She's don't talk like that. Women don't talk like that at all. That's a he. Disguised as a she. I had a spammer a couple of days ago, and they had all these little tiny 8 and 9-year-old girls. And they come to my site and spam my videos. And when I looked at the site, I said, well, like 8-year-old kids can't talk like that. They can't think like that. They don't even act like that. And so some scumbag from TEPCO has done that, right? Downloaded little children's videos, put up on his site to try to pretend that he's these little children and come in and spam me. Hi, Liam. Yeah, Japan needs to be online. You're the truth. You haven't said anything. Shut up. Or actually, don't. No, keep coming. Keep coming back. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. We like you, Michiro. You're interesting. It's nice to see the little bootlicking, cheerleading lapdogs trying to murder people. We don't get enough of that. Society needs more of that, right? It needs more little monsters out getting a paycheck to murder people. Do you go home and tell your parents what you do? You go home and say, Mom, I tricked a whole bunch of people and not listening to data, and they're probably going to die of cancer in a few years. Woo! Bonus. Do you get a bonus for every one of your comments? Or do you just do this because you're a hateful, disgusting idiot? I say both, actually. No family, no friends. Your boss begging your old lady all the time. I can see why you're online doing the things you're doing, hiding away like a coward. Evil will pay. Shut up, Michiro, you dummy. What the hell, man? You're stupid. You must be like the president of your company, are you? Because you're a bunch of idiots anyway. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that name-calling road no more. Michiro can have at me all he wants. I don't care. Sticks and stones, buddy. If you're not going to like tear apart what I'm saying, then what's the sense? You're not going to back it up anyway. You're hiding away like a coward. See him? There we go again. Hang on. Always good for entertainment anyway. Let's get back to business. You just wasted probably 20 minutes of my time. No more of that. But I am going to go looking for you after. I'm going to figure out where your IP address is too, just like the rest of them. I'll put you in my list. Send you off to my spammer. Deal with you. Yes. 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 You're in for some fun down the road, I can assure you there, Michiro. Question and answers. We're talking about this the other day. Albert, TWF, Michiro. That fire still awaits you. Crush boss. Good one. Evil is beauty is true. I don't know what the hell, Michiro. Idiotic psych. Afraid to hide always hiding their face. Afraid to show themselves. Yeah, best YouTube spammer right ever. Thanks, Jack. Need more Opening and Antony talk. Yeah, Opening and Antony. They're like the assassins, the Blackwater assassins of comedy. They're the hounds from hell. I've had them on my case a few times, have I? They've actually done a couple of shows about me, for goodness sakes. That's how much they like me. Hey, Michelle, do you ever have Opening and Antony do a couple of radio shows about you? Call you names, make fun of you. Back to topic. Right on, Miss Milky. Thank you. Okay, let me go back. Let's go back to business. Time's flying. Let me check the time. 46 minutes. Every once in a while I got to blow off a bit of steam on these yahoos anyway, so I don't mind. I'm going to leave them there as a lesson. Okay, so we were talking way back about the turtles. And so let's go back to that. We got the whales are not singing in the Pacific Ocean no more. Think about that one, right? That's done out here in British Columbia. They discovered the killer whales are not singing no more. There's no record of that ever happening before. They kind of leaning towards the patriarchs have died a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden, 2 years later, they stopped singing. Yeah, right. So they'll come up with any excuse but the truth. These death plumes are destroying life at the micro size, at the microorganism levels. And if you don't know much about the ocean depends on its, like this porous types of calcium formations in the ocean. And so all the microorganisms live in that, and they interact with fish, they interact with life down there. And that's the most important aspect of life in the ocean, is that microorganisms. Without that, the rest of life can't exist. It's the very foundation, the very building blocks of the ocean itself. And if you try to put it in that perspective, think about the radiated water that's coming out of Fukushima. I call it hemorrhaging, but that's not a strong enough word. This deluge, this mass pouring out over the cores, and putting that stuff in the tanks is just a disguise to keep you distracted and not think about what's actually coming out over those cores and getting washed out from the mountain itself. And that riverbed itself is designed to absorb these cores and have the water running it over. So our numbers are only 3 million gallons a minute. It's more than that. And that works out to 4.3 billion gallons a day. Somebody want to do the tonnage on that one for me? I can't remember what it was, but 4.3 billion gallons a day going into 300 million square kilometers. And so a lot of people says, oh, you know, it's 300 million square kilometers a day in the Pacific Ocean. No big deal. It can absorb that. It can dilute that. Now, isotopes don't get diluted, and you can't pick them up, you can't smell them, you can't touch them, you can't feel them, you can't sweep them into a box, into Pandora's box, and lock them back up once they escape. And oh my, they have escaped, and they release all these particles and particulates, like the gammas and the betas, which are extraordinarily amounts of energy. And so the microorganisms in the ocean are fried. They're fried. They'll fry you. They'll burn you. If you get in contact with it, they'll physically cause burns on you. And you can't see it, but then after you get these burns showing up. And we've seen many examples of that during Gulf War, where soldiers within 72 hours had all kinds of open sores and were incapacitated and had diarrhea. And during the Nagasaki, Hiroshima mass murders, women pooped out their uterus and their kidneys and stuff as they died, because it turned that to liquid. That's how radiation works, see? And it'll do that for the end of time, till its lifespan. Now, a nuclear detonation is totally different than releasing isotopes directly. That's a completely different monster. And trust me, it's a monster. It's a monster that never stops creating more little monsters, to the point of 39 billion becquerels a minute, say, can come out of just a small release, what we consider a small release, like, say, a gram of cesium can produce more atoms, radioactive atoms, than all the grains of sands and all the beaches of the planet. And so when you put it in that kind of context, or that kind of theory, and you're talking about hundreds of tons. Now, originally, when Fukushima happened, I don't know if anybody remembers it, but I done a video the next day within 12 hours of the first nuclear explosion down there, the hydrogen explosion. And Associated Press that came out, and they had over 400,000 rods on that site, right? And TEPCO's been trying to loot numbers from that over the last 977 days. That has been hemorrhaging not only into our environment with death plumes blowing across the ocean directly at us. And you see that picture we're looking at now, that's actually off by 3 days. So it doesn't take 6 days to reach the coastline. It only takes 3 days. Jet streams are traveling at 100 miles an hour, 2,400 miles in 24 hours. Right? You can do the math. It's actually less than 3 days, and it shows up on our coastline and perforates right out through our interiors. And it goes everywhere. Not only that, it goes up into the tropospheres and all around the planet. And like some people want to come in and say that if you guys have power plants, they are using tritium. I thought you went away. You realize nobody likes you, nobody cares about you, you're a troll, everybody gets that, everyone knows you're a spammer, everybody knows you're a coward, Mashiro. Well, just another one. You know what? I'm going to come in after. I'm going to delete every one of your comments. So enjoy the comments you're doing now. They're all going to get deleted. And then I'm going to block you. And I'm going to send your IP off to somebody to find out where you're to. Somebody that's going to do a lot more than I will do. I'm going to find out about you because I'm getting a little bit tired of you. Okay? Hi, Third Watch. Dana here in Michigan on our farm. Oh, that's right too. You got a farm, yeah. We had a number of young animals dying of weird and hard-to-treat illnesses, several aborted pregnancies and livestock as well, right? And that's emblematic of Fukushima fallout that is blowing into our jet streams and our troposphere for the last 977 days. Excuse me. Dan, if the whales don't sing anymore, will an alien send a probe to Earth to find out why? That's a question I wasn't expecting, right? That was Star Trek, was it? You got that one from? Let's go to the next one. No, that's pretty cool though. But Steve says, seriously, don't know what's happened to the Gulf War vets. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go down the road, but I mean, people say they support the troops. There's 22 veterans committing suicide every day. There's 29,000 reported rapes every year in the military, which is only 27% of the rapes, apparently. But if they're raping their own that much, at 290,000 over the last decade, how many are they raping in the countries they're occupying? Right? Because they're trained to do that. Because every time you rape somebody in an occupied country, you create so-called resistance. You come in and rape my daughter, my wife, my brother's sisters, or my sister, or my brother's wife, or children. The whole family is going to hate you. And that's how they do it, right? They come in, they rape all your loved ones, and then you hate them. And then they call that terrorists. They call that insurgents. They call that resistance. Of course it's resistance. Hi, New Eyes 777, Steve. We all know that those stories are lies. The so-called virus is likely a cover story. Hi, Janet. No worries. No, I'm just I enjoy it sometimes. But enough is enough. Bob Smith says, have you considered the capacity that the Southern Hemisphere could handle? Yes, I have. But, how are you going to get there? How are you going to organize it? According to the Hollywood movies, it can't be done. And look at the conflict of leaving your own country. Like me, going to another country, there's a lot of problems with that. You got a police state that's going to show up now if you start imposing yourself on other people. I mean, look at Israel and Palestine, how that worked out, right? The endless war that ultimately will end this world. And Fukushima is just a backup plan to make sure it all goes anyway, no matter who wins. Ultimately, it's gone. And that our only options left on this planet is to get off the planet, because that's what they're forcing us, our hands, right? This is Milky Clown. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Danny keeps us awake. Hi, Benny. Stephen. The cover story for all the deaths is going to be cell phones, vaccines, GMOs, right? They're going to blame all the radiation on that. Remember these pools up there, they don't have hard water in them anymore, right? They were filled up with, originally they went in with barium, right, with the helicopters and tried to drop that. Then they start grabbing it out of the ocean, trying to drop that all over the site because of all the rods, so they can try to get back in there. I don't know what you're posting, Monsieur. I'm just going to block you after and remove all your comments. You haven't made one word of sense. All you're doing is trying to muddle up the conversation, so you're not going to be staying here. You're gone in about 10 minutes. One of the first things I'll do when the video re-renders is block you, remove all your comments. I'm going to take snapshots of them, but remove all your comments and send you off to somebody that will like you, will enjoy you for at least a week, I'm sure. They'll be chasing you everywhere you went, just so we can figure out what you're up to, what PR firms are doing. Okay, looks like we got everybody's comment. Dun dun dun. News Eye could have really killed him that quick. Are you talking about the turtles? News Eye 777. Hi, Crush Bosh. Yeah, your chat stopped? Yeah, me too. I'm pretty well give up at this stage. Mashiro says, I am the truth and gatekeeper, you should know. Shut your yap. You're a dummy who hides away like a coward and is out there trying to murder people, because that's what you do. You murder people. You go out and lie, and you don't even come in context. You don't even try to debate me. You don't even try to debunk me. You're just blah! Just like an idiot, like a child that is doing something they know they're not allowed to do. But except you're sitting in a little tiny cubicle in an office being paid minimum wage while your boss is off banging your old lady. And that's what your friends all do while you're at work too, by the way. You're a dummy. Hi, Steve. Miss Milky, I am thinking how to hide my children. No good answers yet. Dana, last night a guy posted a link of some weird radar pictures in Carolina. Didn't Carolina have a nuclear accident yesterday or the day before? Hi, Albert, you bet. You never said nothing, Mashiro. You dummy. My goodness. I can't wait to get rid of you. Blow your mind. Yeah? Let's go up and finish off the comments. We'll call it a night. It's going to be one of those nights. Tomorrow night, if they shows up, I'll just block them. Won't even answer them. I'll just block and move on. Tree services during Cambridge, Ontario. There's a lot of chemtrails there. I noticed they seem to turn into clouds within a couple of hours. Third watch. Meso should shut the hero up. That's too funny. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Yeah. Mishiro's boss is on the move. I don't care. I'll leave these comments there, actually. I'm just saying it because I'm a dick sometimes. Blast the hippie. So you're saying because tritium is already released into the environment, Fukushima is not doing anything that the rest of the world didn't already do. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Blast the hippie. Good one. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, that's pounding ground stuff, dear boy, hippie. Yeah, good stuff, man. Which we know you're always good for anyway, but that was a good shot in the head for it. I'm going to call it an it from now on because it's sitting in a little cubicle on a clock. It's probably ran off to the bathroom right now and is on the smoke break smoking its crack. Old news, Mashiro. Yeah, no, it's just, you can't pick any sense out of everything he's saying. I'm going to leave him there just for a bit of fun anyway. People can dump on him then. Thanks, Info Power. Thanks, Miss Milky the Clown. Thanks, Mashiro, even you. Thanks, Janet. We're going down to the wind down. Jacko, Crush Boss, Hippie, Benny, Steve. Let me see who else. Janet, we already got. Benny. Say hi again. See? I like that. That's why I mentioned the name double time. Newseye, hi. Make sure I get everybody. Bob.